So I went out today and I bought a new gun lock, you can see here, and as usual, that gun lock came with a new gun, which is always really cool. So this new gun is a Glock, and of course if you read the title of the video, you know that it is a Glock 35. Alright, so here's the Glock 35, Gen 4, just the way it comes from the toy store. We have the pistol, there's a magazine in the pistol, there are 2 more magazines here in our mag loader, so we get a total of 3 mags. We also get the backstrap replacements, or add-ons if you will, because actually you don't replace what's there, you add something on if you want. So we have 4 different options, including some fairly large ones with some nice extended Beavertails. And as I have mentioned in the past, the little post in the center of this holder also acts as the poor man's Glock tool. That is a plastic punch with which you could disassemble the pistol if you're fairly careful about how you do it. So why did I get a Glock 35? I don't know. You know, it's the Glock 35 has been probably one of the few Glocks that hasn't been on my list a lot, because I kind of figured, you know, I really didn't need to have one. You know, I've had a 34 for a long time, and I've used it for a long time to shoot matches with and so forth, and I just didn't think I had any need for going from a 9mm to a 40 Smith & Wesson, you know, in the same exact configuration. But I've been shooting some 40 lately, and I've been playing with my own hand loads of 40, and I've come to not just appreciate the caliber, but actually kind of enjoy it a little bit. So I thought that it would be fun to have a 35 and maybe even shoot competitively with it from time to time. So again, just the way it comes out of the box, this is brand new. It has never seen the light of day yet. It's only been test fired from the factory. And of course with the Generation 4 Glocks, if you're not familiar, you have the newer and more aggressive stippling. It's basically like a pyramid with the top flattened off. You have the oversized magazine catch. And in this case, because this is a 35, this is a competition pistol, you have the extended slide stop. We also have a pretty nicely beveled magazine well. Comes with a 15 round magazine, 40 Smith & Wesson, 15 rounds, 3 mags. And of course the Glock 34 and Glock 35 both have this cutout in the top of the slide. Now, just as a point of clarity, for those who may not know, and may have been given an incorrect term by somebody, just so you don't repeat it again, this is not ported. You know, having this cutout in the slide does not make that a ported gun. Porting is when you actually cut holes into the barrel itself. This is simply a relief cut to remove weight from the slide, and it's done to make it maximum efficiency in terms of recoil management and functioning of the cycling of the gun, right? Because they've added a lot of length, they needed to remove some of that weight. This pistol has the stock sights on it. You can actually get upgraded sights on a Glock 34 or Glock 35, but to me that's kind of a waste, or at least a why bother, because most everyone is going to replace their factory sights on a competition gun anyway, and I have plans to replace these. So let's just do a quick side-by-side with the 34, just to show that for all intents and purposes these pistols are absolutely identical. The frame is completely identical. The slide is virtually identical, but one thing, if you notice, that relief cut in the front of the slide for weight is larger on the Glock 34 than it is in the Glock 35. The reason is 9mm, less pressure, less recoil. That slide needs to have less weight. So that's really one of the only big differences that you'll see. All right, let's take a look inside. the slide. And here we have our dual recoil spring, and that is a Gen 4 feature. The barrel, of course, and that is our 5.25 inch barrel. And if you've ever bought a new Glock, you've probably seen this bronze or copper lubricant that they put in the slide. And that is actually really good. It's a dry lubricant, and it's actually really good. You want to leave that in there. You don't want to clean that out. I always like to clean a gun before I shoot it the first time, but I try to take care to leave that in place. The recoil spring assembly is different for the Glock 34 compared to the Glock 35. So that is something else, that those parts are not interchangeable also. I mean, you could, physically they look the same. You could replace them incorrectly, but the tension is going to be different. And so the performance of each gun is not going to be correct if you do that. All right, there she is. First rounds. Glock 35, Gen 4. Still has that new Glock smell. Making those new Glock groups. Great thing about the Glock 35, I already had a Glock 34. Same mag carrier, same holster. Only thing different is the ammo. I think I might have to put some sights on this, put some Talon grip on it, shoot matches with it. What does 100 rounds through a brand new Glock 35 look like?